BAFTA should have been at the ready with some editorial consistency.
Welcome to Aunties Court. Court is now in session.
Aunties Court is in session. Here's where we take viral moments and put them under review, baby. We're not lawyers. Ain't none of us here lawyers, but we are giving you perspective. Today's case is based on disability, disrespect, and institutional response. Today's case is layered, and we're going to handle it like we should in a layered fashion. During a live BAFTA ceremony, while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage, John Davison, a person with Tourette's, yelled the N-word. Let's roll the tape.
In a clip that went viral from the British Academy Film Awards, or BAFTAs, a man in the audience can be heard yelling a racial slur as Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo presented on stage.
Part of movie making.
The man shouting was John Davison. He has Tourette syndrome and was there because a film based on his life was being honored. Earlier that night, he told CNN he was worried about exactly this.
Certain things like today, lots of people around, I'm feeling very, motor tics in case I lash out or whatever, so different situations can trigger different emotions and different tics and stuff.
Tourette can involve involuntary motor and vocal tics. In some cases, that includes sudden swearing or shouting, words the person does not intend to say and cannot control. Not everyone with Tourette syndrome has this type of tic. Only about 10% of people with the condition experience involuntary swearing. In Davidson's case, the film about his life shows that his tics can manifest as intrusive, offensive phrases said without intent. The BAFTA audience was warned that involuntary swearing could occur, and after it happened, host Alan Cumming asked for understanding.
Tourette syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
Davidson is the subject of the indie film I Swear and served as an executive producer. It grossed about $8 million at the UK box office and is set for release in the US in April.
There was an apology by BAFTA, but when the broadcast was aired, the word was not edited out. However, in previous broadcasts, another political outburst was removed almost instantaneously. So here are the formal charges. Number 1, impact without public repair. Number 2, selective broadcast sensitivity. 3, the emotional reality of racial harm. And number 4, failure of institutional contextualization. Should John Davison give an apology? Should BAFTA give a better apology?
Yes, I believe that both should give an apology. They interviewed him prior to the award ceremony, so they kind of already knew that this was a potential issue. I just don't think he should have been seated in the award ceremony with everyone else, knowing that this can potentially happen.
He did apologize. I did see a clip where he did apologize. He was afraid that this might happen. This man had a movie that was being recognized. And for that reason, he should be there. This racial slur was said, but it was out of his control. I don't think he should be punished because of something that's beyond his control. People need to be more educated. And as we know, education always comes after input and experience.
So with disabilities, there's usually accommodations. They were aware of this disability prior to the award ceremony. Yes, he should have been there. He didn't necessarily have to sit in the audience. There's usually rooms where you can watch what's happening. And then if they won the award, they will come to the stage to at least prevent outbursts like that from happening and any repercussions behind it.
I disagree. I think he should have been there. BAFTA didn't do well by editing it because now it became public consumption. We were not there. Probably would have heard about it from other people who were there. But the fact that it kept being replayed over and over and over again is a thing. The repetition behind it is which is creating responses from individuals who are probably not educated about this person's disability. So they're taking it from the fact that, okay, he has Tourette's, but he said the N-word while these two particular actors were on stage. I think BAFTA should have edited it out. Apology should have come sooner. Now, the host did explain the situation to the audience. But again, lack of knowledge and us outside viewers are taking things at face value and not doing our homework or due diligence to understand.
While the host did explain it, maybe he did on the spot, maybe the PR team, I don't know, but shame on the PR team that didn't give him an adequate apology because he said, if you feel offended by
Correct.
this. No, that's not how we do apology. I want to address that one of the things you said, Joe. He has a disability. To have him sit outside of a special area, you're othering him. You're like ostracizing him. And that happens to people with disabilities all the time. So we got to be sensitive to that. That happens
to people without disabilities.
Jay, you mentioned you saw a clip with his apology. The only thing I saw was that he was trying to apologize. So if he did now, fine. But it was all delayed. It wasn't immediate.
Exactly.
Now, that's a problem. This has caused a lot of discourse between Black people, white people. I've seen something on Threads where a guy posted something along the lines of Black people need to be more sensitive to people with disabilities, as if we don't have disabilities, right? So there's always a thing. It's like a hierarchy that exists that we can't see, but it's there. And it pisses me off, right?
We see it. No, I think
we feel it. Sometimes we see it, right?
Okay.
But we feel it. We know it exists.
Yeah.
But the masses don't see it. To make a statement.
The masses meaning other than us?
Sometimes some of us, all skinfolk and kinfolk, they don't see it either, you know?
Correct.
But there was an argument of, well, he shouldn't have to apologize for having a disability. And my question to that is, people are focused too much on the intent, meaning he didn't intend to harm, but the harm was done.
The harm was there.
That's no different from me. Let's say I had an issue, a disability where I spit when I speak. Like Daffy Duck. I'm sitting in front of you, that's flat, and it's coming all over. I'm literally spitting. You may or may not know this, but every time I talk, I'm spitting and it lands on you. I do not intend to have my spit land on you, but it's landing on you. The harm is done. So should I not apologize because I have a condition? No, I should apologize immediately. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And my defense is not that he should not apologize at all. That's he should apologize. My defense is that he should not apologize for his disability. He should apologize
for the harm.
For the harm.
And I agree. I'm just saying that there's an argument out there in the ethos of people saying, no, he shouldn't have to apologize because he has a disability. And I don't agree with that.
The fact that he was afraid that it was going to happen shows that he knows that it's possible that it could happen. And when it did, lends himself to apologize for something he is aware could possibly happen. Again, not for his disability, but the fact that he knows that something like this can happen. And it could have been any slur to anybody else. It just happened to be the N word in this instance. And it happened to be while two Black actors were presenting. So we got to be mindful of that too. We can't say, oh, it's just because two Black actors was presenting and he said the N word. This could have been any slur. But at the end of the day, it was Black people who were impacted by this incident. And
that's why I say prior to the award show, there was discussions and he was afraid of it. Accommodations should have been made. Well, accommodations are made for people with disabilities all the time.
I agree.
And knowing the repercussions that could have happened, I don't think he would have had an issue sitting somewhere else to avoid a situation like this.
Well, let's not we don't want to say what he feels because we don't know, because he could have said what
I'm just giving my opinion. I'm just saying that
you're giving your opinion and I'm just stating because we don't know what he would have said. I still stand on the fact that he could be in the room where the accommodation could have came in if there was an outburst. We didn't need to see it. We didn't need to hear it. BAFTA should have immediately, because there was no sense of urgency in editing.
Everything was
however, when a person yelled "Free Palestine," that shit was removed instantaneously. So where was that sense of urgency? Why do Black people have to continuously be expected to absorb impact and harm like this so quietly? Why do we have to just take it?
Agreed.
We shouldn't have to take it. The next question is, would this have landed a little bit differently if he said something that was against Jews? He said something that was against Asians. Would that have been edited quickly? BAFTA should have been at the ready with some editorial consistency. I think there's something going on there. Like, who the hell was at the editing board?
These people choose to let things air that probably shouldn't be aired.
It's known that they'll get visibility for that happening. It brings attention to the award ceremony, period.
Verdict options. Is BAFTA guilty of mishandling a racial harmful moment?
Yes.
Or not guilty? The outburst stemmed for a neurological condition. And it wasn't intended. Or gray area?
There is no gray area. They were guilty.
Can I read the gray area, damn it? Can I get it out? John Davison is not guilty of intent. The institution is guilty of insufficient response. He can't control every outburst. But both of them could control how they respond.
He should not have to apologize for his disability. He should apologize for the impact. BAFTA should apologize for their negligence in not being more responsive, not airing it to begin with, and or following up immediately with an apology.
My only thing is, I think that they should have been responsible for the apology that he gave. Like, they should have looked at what was going to be said before it's being said. They should have wrote his apology.
The host, not John Davison. You're talking about the host.
No, John Davison, making sure they wrote an apology for him to recite.
Why?
If they were really going to respond immediately, they should have had an apology as well as give him one to make sure that it was received in the correct way.
He's an able-bodied person to apologize on his own. Hell, he directed and produced his own movie about his life. He can apologize on his own. He doesn't need BAFTA to do that for him.
Yeah.
I think people make the mistake a lot of people make with people who have disabilities of thinking that they're not capable of doing certain things. So
I'm not saying that he wasn't able or he's not capable. I was just saying in this particular situation, it should have been cohesive response from both BAFTA and him. That's all.
I think they're independently accountable.
Disability deserves compassion. And when we have instances of racial harm, it definitely deserves acknowledgement. When we force those truths to compete in this situation, it clearly does. Everybody loses. Difficult conversation. Glad we were able to get through it. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.